Picture this. You're at the gas pump watching the numbers climb higher and higher. Ever wonder why oil prices seem to control everything from your daily commute to global politics? Well, buckle up, because we're about to dive into the fascinating world of petrodollars and Saudi Arabia's grip on the global economy. Welcome to the Economy Unpacked Daily YouTube channel. From Wall Street to your street, we share the world of money in a clear way. Today, we're unpacking the power of the petrodollar and how Saudi Arabia, the world's top oil exporter, has been pulling the strings of global finance for decades. But what exactly is a petrodollar? Simply put, it's the US dollars earned by oil exporting countries when they sell their black gold on the international market. And because oil has been priced almost exclusively in US dollars, this system creates a constant global demand for the greenback. Now, you might be thinking, why should I care about petrodollars? Well, this system affects everyone, not just bankers or governments. It shapes global inflation, determines the cost of energy, and even allows the U.S. to finance its debt cheaply. When oil prices fluctuate or the dollar strengthens, it impacts everyday costs like gasoline, food, and housing. Let's rewind to 1971 when President Nixon made a game-changing decision to abandon the gold standard. Suddenly, the dollar wasn't backed by gold anymore, and the U.S. needed a new system to maintain confidence in its currency. Enter Saudi Arabia and the birth of the petrodollar system. In 1974, the U.S. struck a deal with Saudi Arabia that would change the face of global finance, in exchange for American military protection and advanced weaponry. Saudi Arabia agreed to price and sell its oil exclusively in U.S. dollars. Other OPEC nations soon followed suit, and just like that, the U.S. dollar became the world's dominant reserve currency. This agreement had a massive impact, as countries worldwide now had to hold large reserves of dollars to purchase oil, ensuring consistent demand for the dollar and reinforcing U.S. financial power. It was a masterstroke that transformed the dollar from a national currency to a global powerhouse. At the heart of this system was Saudi Arabia, with its vast oil reserves and position as the largest oil exporter. As the most influential member of OPEC, Saudi Arabia's production policies could move global markets overnight. By selling oil exclusively in dollars, they forced countries around the world to acquire and use U.S. dollars, embedding the greenback at the heart of international trade. But it didn't stop there. The dollars Saudi Arabia earned from oil sales were reinvested into U.S. assets, including treasury bonds, defense contracts, and American infrastructure projects. This petrodollar recycling created a loop that strengthened both Saudi-U.S. ties and the dollar's supremacy. The petrodollar system gave the U.S. unprecedented global power. Because the world needed dollars, America could print and spend more of its currency without immediate consequences. This allowed the U.S. to finance trade and budget deficits far more easily than other nations. Control over the global oil trade translated into control over global finance, making the dollar not just a medium of exchange, but a tool of geopolitical power. This system reinforced U.S. military and political involvement in the Middle East, with conflicts, alliances, and wars often having energy and currency stability at their core. And it wasn't just oil. Many global commodities, from wheat to metals, became priced in dollars, spreading the petrodollar's influence into nearly every economic sector. But, as with all things, change is on the horizon. China, now the world's largest oil importer, has started to experiment with yuan-based oil contracts. Russia, Iran, and members of the BRICS bloc are pushing for trade outside the dollar framework to reduce U.S. influence. The rise of cryptocurrencies and central bank digital currencies opens possibilities for oil trade to move away from the dollar. Even Saudi Arabia, the longtime guardian of the petrodollar, is cautiously exploring new paths. While still allied with the U.S., they've deepened economic ties with China and Russia. Their ambitious Vision 2030 plan seeks to reduce dependence on oil by diversifying into tourism, technology, and green energy, a strategy that indirectly reduces reliance on the petrodollar system. Beyond oil, Saudi Arabia is pouring money into global tech companies, renewable energy, and infrastructure projects, preparing for a post-oil future. They're even involved in global talks about de-dollarization, signaling that even the staunchest supporters of the petrodollar are considering alternatives. So, what does the future hold for the petrodollar? There are a few possible scenarios. In one, if the dollar remains trusted and Saudi Arabia sticks to dollar-based trade, the petrodollar system may survive for decades. Another possibility is a multipolar currency system, where the dollar coexists with the euro and yuan in global energy trade, reducing the dollar's monopoly, but not eliminating its power. A more dramatic scenario could see a gradual erosion of trust in the dollar. Combined with geopolitical shifts, reducing U.S. dominance, and ushering in a new financial order. These shifts would directly affect Western countries like the U.S., Canada, the U.K., and Australia. Currency fluctuations could drive up import prices, reshape debt markets, and increase financial instability. For ordinary people like you and me, a weakening dollar or major shift in oil trade could mean higher energy costs, unstable housing markets, and changes in how we save and invest. It's not just about numbers on a screen. It's about the cost of filling up your car, heating your home, and putting food on the table. As the key oil producer, Saudi Arabia has held disproportionate power in shaping both global markets and U.S. foreign policy. But with the rise of new powers and alternative currencies, is the petrodollar on borrowed time, or will it adapt to survive? That's where you come in. We want to hear your thoughts. Is the petrodollar here to stay, or are we on the brink of a new financial era? Share your opinions in the comments below. Ask questions, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dive content on geopolitics and global finance. Remember, understanding these global forces helps us all navigate our personal financial journeys. Until next time, keep unpacking the economy with us.